Hey guys, today's passage comes from the book If You Want to Be Rich and Happy, Don't Go to School by Robert Kiyosaki. Paid $1 for this on a clearance bin, by the way. Great investment. Today, I don't use much of what I learned after the 5th grade, but that's not to say school didn't leave its permanent mark on me. In fact, school left several behavioral traits I hadn't walked in with. Engraved in my mind was the belief that making a mistake or screwing up got me ridiculed by my peers and often my teacher. School brainwashed me into thinking that if a person wanted to be successful in life, he or she had to always be right. In other words, never be wrong. School taught me to avoid being wrong, making mistakes at all costs. If you did happen to make a mistake, at least be smart enough to cover it up. This is where all too many people are today. Not allowing themselves to make mistakes and thus blocking their own progress. The symptoms of the disease are feelings of boredom, failure, dissatisfaction. Although most people never come to understand why they feel this way. After having it drilled into us for so many years, it's hard to imagine that being right could cause such unhappiness. In 1981, I had the opportunity to study with Dr. R. Buckminster Fuller. Although I can't quote him exactly, the first lesson I learned from him still sticks in my mind. He told us that humans were given a right foot and a left foot, not a right foot and a wrong foot. We make progress through our lives by advancing first with the right foot, then with the left. With each new step, we both move forward and correct the prior step so that we can come closer and closer to our destination. Most people, however, are still trying to walk straight and narrow, avoiding mistakes and thus getting nowhere. What's wrong with the straight and narrow path? Perhaps nothing, except the fact that the straight and narrow paths simply don't exist in the real world. Not even physicists have ever found anything that is absolutely straight. Only curves have been found. Straight lines exist only in human minds. In the Abelian Paradox, Jerry B. Harvey writes about the paradox of paradoxes. He explains the universal principle that unity is plural, just as up cannot exist without down, or man cannot exist without woman, a right cannot exist without a wrong. Similarly, people who can only be right eventually wind up being wrong. The people who are willing to risk making mistakes in order to discover what is wrong eventually end up knowing what is right. This problem with society today. Nobody wants to make mistakes, and if they do, they don't want anybody to know about them. Don't be afraid to mess up, guys. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. We all do. I make them on these videos. Sometimes I delete them and do them over again, and sometimes I just leave them. There's nothing wrong with making a mistake as long as you can learn from it and fail forward. Remember, guys, live with purpose and pursue excellence. I'll see you in the next one.